Welcome to She Rose Anyways. I'm your girl, Sephora. And this is a space for the broken, the healing, the rising. Here we speak the truth, rewrite the lies trauma taught us, and celebrate every messy, beautiful step of becoming. Because no matter what tried to break you, you're still here. And sis, you didn't just survive, you rose anyways. Today, I want to invite you into the heart of why I started this podcast. It's not just a project for me, it's a lifeline for myself and hopefully for you too. There's a saying that your pain can become your power, and I used to roll my eyes at that because when you're in the thick of it, when your heart is shattered, your family has turned their backs, and you're crying on the floor for the 10th night in a row, power is the last thing you feel. But let me tell you how I found mine. I grew up thinking love meant pain, that to be seen I had to earn it, that I wasn't enough unless I gave everything. I carried that into adulthood, into my relationships, my parenting, and my faith. I gave until I had nothing left. I trusted people who only wanted to use or silence me. And worst of all, I silenced myself. But even in the silence, I knew there was something more. There had to be. I remember in the moment I realized I wasn't crazy, I was wounded. That I wasn't broken, I was bleeding. And bleeding doesn't make you unworthy. It means you need healing. And healing is holy work. My story in pieces. Let me tell you a few truths about my life. I've been homeless. I've buried a child. I've lost custody of my girls. Lies and betrayal. I've been called unfit, unstable, and unworthy. I've heard it all, and sometimes from the people who should have protected me. But I also graduated Bible school, held my daughters in my arms again, started over with nothing, and built a life rooted in truth, not trauma. Found healing through skincare, through BTS, through faith, through fur babies, and through facing my story head on. I share all of this not for pity, but for power, because someone listening right now has been silenced too. And I want you to know your voice matters, your story matters, you matter. Pain has purpose, and here's what I've learned. Pain is a teacher. It teaches us what we'll no longer tolerate. It teaches us where we are still hurting, and it teaches us who we really are when everything else is stripped away. But only if we're brave enough to sit with it, to look it in the eye and say, "You don't own me anymore." I had to do that many times. In the mirror, in courtrooms, in hospital rooms, in worship, and here behind this mic. Because when you own your story, the shame starts to shrink. The lies start to unravel, and the girl they tried to bury, she begins to rise. From survival to rising, let me ask you something. Are you just surviving, or are you rising too? It's okay if you're still surviving. I was too. But I want you to know survival is the beginning, not the end. You deserve joy, you deserve rest, you deserve softness, and you deserve to take up space without apologizing. You deserve to be seen, fully, flawed, fierce. And that's what this podcast is for. A reminder that you are never too far gone. You are never too broken. You are never alone. You're not just a trauma story. You are a resurrection. So what can you expect from She Rose Anyways? You'll get honesty. You'll get hard truths. You'll get joy. You'll get faith. You'll hear about unicorns, Mickey Mouse, Korean skincare, K-pop, healing fur babies, and what it means to reclaim your life when the world tells you you shouldn't have survived. Every week, I'll show up here not as someone who has all the answers, but as someone who knows what it feels like to hurt and still hope. And if all I do is remind you of your worth, then I've done my job. Thank you for joining me on this healing journey. If this episode touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to remember they're not alone. And remember, your scars don't define you, your past doesn't own you, and your story isn't over. So until next time, keep rising, Queen, because you're not just surviving anymore, you're rising anyways.